Greetings, divine mirrors, sacred, awakening, remembering, gods and goddesses, one and all. Thank you for showing up. Welcome to Voices of the Global Awakening, Tuesdays with Tess, episode number 24. We're at the 6-month mark. And this episode is entitled, Getting What You Need. And so this is what we are going to delve into today. You know that old song, you can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. But if you try sometime, you just might find you get what you need. Remember that? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today, because we have all these wants, and these wants oftentimes cause us to suffer. Welcome, Anna. Good to see you here. These wants cause us to suffer because in the wanting, there is a longing. And that longing suggests that something is missing. And as long as we perceive something to be missing, we are not a vibrational match to having it. So it occurred to me, I want what I want. I want what I want. I want what I want. I hear you, baby girl. I want what I want too. And I'll tell you something. I have just spent 3 years holding out for what I want in terms of a home, and believing that I no longer wish to justify compromise and to rationalize settling for things that don't bespeak me and don't feel representative of me, and how much of that is authentic and how much of that is ego, who knows. We can sort of peel it and peel it and peel it, and may or may not get to a truth about it. But what occurred to me, because it's all about feeling good, it's really all about being flamenco. I'm not sure why you say that, Stu, but okay. Y'all have to bear with me because I've had a wicked cough for 2 days, and I can barely speak, but the show must go on, and I love being here, so I'm going to do my best to stick it out for these 2 hours. And I got some cough drops here and some water. But anyway, so after 3 years of holding out for what I want and being stoically and stubbornly unwilling to settle for less, I saw a little place, and it's very sweet, and there is a lot about it that does not check my boxes. However, I have been a house guest in various different places for the last 3 years, and while I am so incredibly grateful for the grace that has been extended to me. And it's really sweet because my current hostess was really pouting today about me leaving, which is so sweet. But, when I saw this place, and initially I was like, no, not this, not this. And then I realized, you know what? This is not just about me. I am a guest in somebody's home. And so I can't make fully autonomous decisions. I have to check in with her. And so I did check in with her. And, I came here for 2 or 3 months, and I've been here for 13 months. And as gracious as she's been, I'm in a little tiny room that is filled with her stuff, and my spirit, which wants to expand. What are you saying? Stu wants to learn flamenco. Well, I think if Stu wants to learn flamenco, and if he needs to learn flamenco, then he should learn flamenco. So anyway, so the point is that I checked in with her, and it just sort of added up that it is really time for me to fly the nest. And it's time for me to go. It's time for me to get into my own energy in a space where I can unfurl and expand and reclaim all of my possessions that have been in storage for almost 3.5. No, it'll be 3 years in March. And and so even though this place is not what I wanted, it is apparently what I need. And the thing about needs is we don't actually know what our needs are. We may think we know what our needs are, but the reality is existence, the intelligent field that sustains us and animates us, actually knows what we need a lot better than we do. So after 3 years of diligent house hunting, I mean, literally, it has been my full-time job, looking at listings, going and looking at places, getting close, because this whole thing has been an exercise for me, a simulation to heal this lifelong program of justifying sacrifice and compromise. And I would get close, and then I would back away, and I would get close, and I would back away, and it was like, here it is again. Here it is again. I'm just about to do it again. And now this time, it was like, you know what? I need a staging area. I need a jumping off point, a place to land. An Airbnb wasn't going to cut it, because with an Airbnb, you don't know how long you're going to need it for, and you can book 3 weeks and come the end of the 3 weeks. If you want to extend and they've already booked someplace else, you've got to move. And I have felt so incredibly ungrounded and destabilized for such a long time that it's like, no, I need to roost in a place that is mine, where I can unpack and where I can sort through my belongings. I used to have this friend who would say sorting is a sacred process, that deciding what we're going to keep and what we're going to release is a very prayerful experience. It's very mindful if we do it with intention. So it's like, obviously, if I have done without so many of my possessions for 3 years, I probably can do without most of them for the rest of my life. And yet they were situated in a cumbersome circumstance that would not enable me to easily and effectively release them. So at least to my sensibilities and logic, it has been important for me to have a place. Now, granted, I was hoping that this was going to be my forever place, because I feel like I have gypsied and vagabonded enough, and it will be much more rewarding for me to have a home, especially because I want a place where I can host gatherings and retreats on a regular basis. And this particular place that I found that I am moving into tomorrow is actually, it has a much smaller footprint than I was hoping for. So I have a lot of rethinking to do of how I'm going to make this space work for me. But I have resolved that I am getting what I need. Are you all still talking about? We all need to learn flamenco. I like this. It lives in me. Yes, I'm in the same situation, so appreciating what I have and still dreaming and wanting a bigger place. Yes, you get me, sister. I know you do. It's funny the way these messages jump. It's easy for me to miss something. You know what, Stewie? I really want you to learn flamenco. I need you to learn flamenco. Do you know flamenco, Ana Luisa? Do you know it? second. Bella Grace is here. Welcome. Flamenco is associated with Spanish gypsies. I know. It's got that what is that word? Pastiche? Is that the word that I'm looking for? It's got that evocative sort of quality. Well, I think that it's as good a use of your life force and focus of attention as any, and especially if it makes you laugh to do it. I took a dance class. I was in Austin a couple of weeks ago for a retreat, and the facilitator took us out to a dance class, and it was called, I want to say Zico, but I may not be saying it correctly. And it's a Brazilian dance, and it was so much fun. As clumsy as I was, like the first hour, they separated us into like 5 different groups at beginner, intermediate, advanced, and we each had an hour lesson. And as beginner as I was smiling ear to ear the whole time. And then after the dance class ended, they changed the lights to more like nightclub disco, and all the instructors were so lovely, and they were coming over and asking each of us to dance. So I got to practice quite a bit, and it was like, once I get settled here, I really I'm interested in looking into this dance class. Go to Basilio's Flamenco Fest Labor Day week. Oh wow. See that? Zouk, that's it. Thank you. Zouk is what it's called. Thank you. I said Zico. Thank you. Stu needs to go to Brazil. Okay, but you can start with Basilio, who is like right down in University Heights, I think, right? Isn't that where Adrian's house is? Something like that. So anyway, so we are talking about the distinction between wants and needs. So yeah, wanting comes from a place of longing, and that longing seems to put some sort of deflated distance between us and the object of our desire. And I think that the get around to it is to surrender into a state of trust and to decide that I get what I need. I get what I need. It may not look like what I think I want or I think I should have, but ultimately, whatever comes to me is for my growth and evolution, and gives me an opportunity to tune in, to take stock of who I'm being. Am I being consistent with the version of me that would have those things that I think that I want? And if not, what might I do to shift so that I can embody that version that already has? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? I'm taking a pause because my voice is starting to get thin, so I just want to not overdo it. Anybody want to come on and chat with me? That would take the pressure off my vocal cords. So if we drop into this place of choosing. Oh, Stewie's coming on. Okay, cool. Let's see. Hello.
Hola. You froze.
I did.
How come I come on and you freeze?
I don't know. I don't know.
Ah. So you look good in you're wearing like teal or blue or something?
It's teal, and
Yeah.
it almost matches the background. And I put
Yeah.
a gold tank top to also match the background.
Yeah, it's looking good. I'm liking that.
Thank you. This is an outfit that I found in my closet today as I was cleaning it out. And it was like, oh, I bought this thing and I stuck it in the closet and I never wore it. And I just found it cleaning out the closet.
That's the thing, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So what are we talking about now?
I wonder why I don't know, there's something funny about the sound. Does the sound sound the same to you now as it did before you came on?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
So we're talking about you don't always get what you want, but you get what you need.
Correct.
Right.
And if you decide that you always get what you need, then there's peace there.
Well, I certainly got what I needed when I landed back here from Oregon and found my way into this place I'm living with Ariane J. Goodwin and Maranisa.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been very healing for me to be here and to be able to climb Mount Montserrat many times a week and to swim 20 lengths in the pool, soak in the jacuzzi, play pickleball, play tennis, practice my golf swing and my putting.
And be in a beautiful environment in the nature.
Say again?
And be in a beautiful environment with breathtaking views in nature.
Yeah. Yeah, this is all served me these last few months. And so I got what I needed.
Which may not have been what you wanted or what you thought you wanted.
I did want a sense of home. I did want a sense of home, and I did get it because they've been lovely with me, and it is certainly their home, and so it's a home filled with love, and so yeah, I've got what I needed, for however long, I'm not sure, but yeah, having all the amenities, all the athletic things that I could do outdoors has just been such a gift to me, for sure. And then I had this lovely gift from a guy I know who will remain nameless at this time, who invited me into my king archetype. And so I've been carrying this book, The King, the Warrior, the Magician, the Lover, about the male archetypes.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had it for a couple of years, I think, and I haven't read it. And his throwing down the gauntlet of inviting me into my king with the knowingness that he has my back was just such a lovely invitation that it's gotten me to read the book. And as it turns out, I'm really getting a lot from the book, and I'm recognizing myself, because it doesn't just talk about the 4 archetypes. It talks about the shadow aspects of the 4 archetypes,
Mm-hmm.
and how they express themselves. And so I can see some of those in me as well. So in a way, by reading this book, I'm kind of getting this whole understanding and analysis of my own psychology or my own character. And that's ultimately what brought me into flamenco this evening, this afternoon. And
connect the dots there, because I was about to say, so you're
in the Mankind Project, which uses these archetypes, these Jungian archetypes, and he said that he mostly sees me as the lover. So I didn't know. So to this afternoon, I've been reading about the lover, and I've been reading about the shadow aspects, and I've been able to look at my life and how much depression I've dealt with in the last number of months. And I realize why, and I realize what's not happening. And this ultimately brought me to flamenco because I had seen and reposted a video, a flamenco video, a few days ago on Facebook, and flamenco is very passionate and very, very dramatic and other than depressed. I mean, you have to have your vigor. Leah says, this is reminding me, Tess, we've got to get to Zook and bring stew.
Oh, it's funny because we were just talking about that earlier before you came on, Leah, and Rebecca mentioned this guy Basilio, who's got what did she say? What kind of dance class does Basilio? I forgot what she said.
I'm not sure what kind of dance class Basilio is, but with a name like Basilio, it sounds like it's probably Spanish or Italian and Latin, and she says that's where she saw it, Rebecca's post.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I definitely want to check it out.
Anyway,
let me move and settle in, and we'll go.
But I mean, I've known myself to be a dancer since I was about 15 or 16. But I haven't been dancing lately. I have been doing a lot of outdoor exercise and some competitive sports and things, but I haven't really been dancing. And dancing brings through an energy that's kind of like the energy that comes through in sports, and yet it's different. It's more
passionate.
Well, sports can be pretty passionate too, but it's less, well, put it this way, creativity is normally associated with the feminine, and dance is a creative art form. So it's not, even though there may be bravado and macho-ness in it, swagger. I think Stu might like dance church too. Times you can come and dance as you are. Yeah. I've been there, but and yeah, I could go back, of course. In fact, I was even thinking to last Sunday, and I didn't end up going. But so I went to YouTube and I watched a video about flamenco, and something about it just spoke to me. And I mean, I've had a bruised heel since 3 weeks ago when I played tennis for the first time in a few years. But there's something about the energy of the Spanish, the Latin lovers, and the passion, as you say, that is, it wakens something up that might stay asleep. I think that's why I say we all should be studying flamenco, because I don't know. It seems like everyone would like to have more passion in their lives and more romance and love. And I've heard it said that you can't really be a creative artist without having your love life alive. And it just seems to me that something like flamenco would be very supportive of that. Maybe tango too, but and maybe other kinds of dance. I mean, I suppose the point is really, if we back out the lens a little bit, it's more about dance in general. Stu is happiest. I looked at that video I reposted on Facebook a few days ago of me with the long hair, talking about how happy I was when I was in the peak of my Zumba period about 5-6 years ago. And I was so ecstatic. And I also lost like 20 pounds, and I recently had a physical, and I found I'm back up to like 211 pounds. So it's like, oh, it's time to lose 20 pounds again. And so perhaps dance and maybe a digestive cleanse is the way to go about it.
Well,
So,
I would love for you to check out flamenco and report back to us about it. That would be great. What
well,
Elias, I just cut out a photo of a couple dancing flamenco on my vision board. It might have been tango, but looked like flamenco. I think it might have something to do with the costume. those big frilly arms are flamenco, right?
yeah, the arms up over the head, and is like, it's so, it's so passionate. It's um
Do it.
yeah,
Do
I think it's good stuff. And supposedly Albuquerque, New Mexico is like the hub of flamenco in the United States, and in the world it's Madrid, I believe. Yeah, Barcelona? No, I think it's Madrid, Spain. So now I'm thinking, well, maybe I should go back to Spain.
I think start by finding a flamenco class and see.
I don't know. There's something about jumping in with both feet, I mean, yeah. I mean, I could do that here in San Diego, of course, but to even consider traveling to another continent
For dance.
specifically to dance flamenco is kind of like, there's something invigorating as I approach my 65th birthday.
It sounds like you.
Go, Stu. I could totally see you dancing flamenco. Yeah, thank you. I could grow I could grow the little mustache back and
or pencil it in. Lynn Butner has joined us. Welcome.
wow, Lynn Butner.
Yay. Yay.
Biodanza. Yeah, I'm not sure about biodanza.
Beautiful. Yeah. Biodanza is wonderful. It's very passionate. It's very like theatrical and balletic. Is that a word? Balletic?
Yeah, as in ballet.
Yeah. Yeah, and fully expressed. So it's like you put all your feelings into it, and you allow it to come through your extremities to the fullest expression that
That's
you possibly.
what I'm talking about.
Yes, it's what we need.
That's right.
We get what we need.
That's right.
Hey, that's what our topic is today. Well,
right. Thanks for bringing it back around.
You're welcome. Yes, getting what you need, and so it's like that's it. It's like giving ourselves permission and trusting that existence is always giving us what we need. When it comes in the form of an inspiration or an impulse or a connection or an exposure to something that inspires us, we are always getting what we need, and we may not know what we need, but when we get it, we recognize that there is value in it for us. And so it's really moving from this place of longing to having.
You froze again. Stop it.
I guess it happens when I get too passionate. I don't know. But so this needing business led me to considering where my awareness was and having a choice in what my awareness is, because I could be angry awareness, I could be jealous awareness, I could be resentful awareness, I could be fearful awareness, I could be worried awareness, but none of those focuses are going to serve me. And so it occurred to me that the only focus that will serve me is to choose to be grateful awareness. And that doesn't have to be attached to any circumstance or condition. That could be a choice based on staying in touch with the fact of the miracle of my existence. And so then I am at a place of accepting, trusting, whatever I need is provided for. Whatever is going to benefit me is what my situation is going to be. And I can simply approach everything with this base of grateful awareness and not suffer.
And not what?
And not suffer about anything.
Or catch it quickly and redirect it back into being grateful.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. If it's like, okay, if I'm choosing to stand in this place of grateful awareness, then anything that, any thought that crosses my consciousness that is not of that can easily be dismissed. Leah, that may have to be the title of your book, Tess. Grateful awareness could be.
Well, that reflects my post from this morning on Facebook, which was about to she who has much, more is given. And so to celebrate all that you have, and the universe will just want to lavish you with more.
Yeah, which is why going back to not being in a state of wanting, because wanting suggests lacking.
Right. You want for nothing.
Right.
Because you're busy having.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Hmm?
I said it sounds good.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, I can make space for someone else to come on with you.
Okay.
And then you could sing a song, or you could sing a song in between.
Yeah, I don't know if I got it in me today to sing a song.
Oh.
Do you want
Well, maybe you could do a pantomime.
Do you want to?
Oh, you froze again. Look at that. Oh, there you go. Okay. All right. How do I get out of here now?
I'll remove you.
Oh, like a blemish, huh?
It says
All right.
remove. That's what it says. Remove.
Okay.
X. Okay.
Bye. Nice to
Bye-bye.
see you.
You too. Woohoo! Are we having fun yet? What did you say? It's the poetry of human encounter, started by Rolando del Toro in the 60s. That's Biodanza you're speaking of. Yeah, cool. Helene is here. Welcome, Helene. Yay. So our topic today is getting what you need. How do you do it? Well, the secret to getting what you need is deciding that you always get what you need and not worrying about it. It's kind of a little kind of trick to the mind, because if you know you always get what you need, then you can relax, you can chill out, you cannot suffer, you can avoid agonizing about decisions of what you should or shouldn't do, because whatever you choose, you're always going to get what you need. And celebrating what you have, indeed, celebrating what you have. And what I have is this fledgling live stream that this is episode number 24. So we've been at this for 6 months now, which is amazing. And it's makes my heart happy, and it seems to make some of your hearts happy too, because you keep showing up, and that means a lot to me. So we are small but mighty in our joyous celebration of the miracle of getting to be here in these bodies, having these kind of conversations and inspiring one another to expand our perspective, to experience more and more and more joy and bliss and peace and faith in our experience. I was realizing the other day that what what I want, what I want is to be happy, healthy, comfortable, and passionately inspired. Though those are the things that check my boxes. And so if I am not feeling that way, it's very likely that existence is needing to show me some places inside myself that I am stuck, and that my ego is stubbornly trying to force things into being, as opposed to allowing and trusting the unfolding. So anyway, can I repeat that? Why don't I bring you on here and you can ask me questions, because I don't know if I can repeat it. I was so in the moment. You want to come on and chat with me? Easier on my vocal cords to have a dialogue than a monologue anyway. So.
Hi, Tess.
Hello. Yeah.
I'm at a nice, bright, shiny, and very loud Sprouts. So, if that's ideal for you, that's ideal for me. Eating my little dinner. But no, I wanted just if you could repeat those four things. So you said happiness, or you said health.
I want to be happy, healthy, comfortable, and passionately inspired.
Okay, that's cool. Can I write those in there? Because I really want to write them down later.
Yeah.
Yeah, happy. Maybe Stu can help. Happy. Sorry, one more time. Healthy.
Happy, healthy, comfortable, and passionately inspired.
Okay, those are really great. I like the comfortable one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's been quite a fun, 24 hours for me, talking about getting what you need. I went to a bunch of different events, and one of them was a vision board with Mary Lee. Yeah. I just want to make sure these are right. Passionately inspired. Okay. And it was really fun. The whole weekend, I can't really get too much into it because there was a lot of family stuff about my brother and sister-in-law coming to visit in San Diego, but I've gotten through it, and it's been really interesting to feel my feels, as I guess they'd call it. And we're meeting up when they get here, and it's going to be great. It's just going to be great, but I've had issues in the past with one of my family members, don't we all? And one thing that really helped me, I should say, is I reached out to a friend. We used to do law of attraction stuff a lot. So I looked up Abraham Hicks and what happens when you have a toxic family member. And I think I told you already all about this, Tess, but what Esther said as part of this was the person that we're reacting to is just bringing up all of these contrasts within ourselves. So it has nothing to do with the person. It's all the contrast in yourself. And you could run away from the person or not talk to them or whatever, but those contrasts are still in you. And so that was really effective to hear that. And then later I had not one, but two joy rides with Joy Peacock, the fairy godmother. And she really helped cleanse me of a lot of this stuff. So I was feeling the contrasts, and she helped me really, like, the way she put it was like unwinding kind of like bile and letting all the bile flow out of me.
Wow.
It was really powerful, and I'm still in a kind of a detox mode. I can see it in my skin, and I'm eating very simply and had a really good night's sleep. And, so it's been really an interesting 24, 48 hours.
Yeah. I
stuff.
think is very valuable to hold every single character in our lives as an ally in our evolution, no matter who they are. So
Right.
even our so-called enemies are our allies, because they are helping see those places where we are stuck,
Right.
and get triggered instead of being grateful awareness.
Grace, yeah. And every time you say that, I always say graceful awareness. I don't know, I hear it that way. So it's grateful awareness and graceful awareness. But that's been really helpful too, the grateful awareness, and watching the thoughts come up and saying, wow, this is interesting. Why do I have all these little buttons pushed? But frankly, after working with Joy and this whole thing, I really am feeling so much better. I just not as triggered by them. Although I will say this, my brother reached out today and he was just kind of chit-chatting and sending me stuff. And I said, and I'm just going to have to send, I'm sending a kind of a boundary, like, let's wait till you get here. I don't want to hear all this little chit-chat and nothing stuff, after everything we went through. And I think that probably pissed him off, but it's okay. You know what I mean?
It seems like you're all trying to find your boundaries with each other, and still handing out, over the olive branch at the same time. So
Yeah, we've been here before, but we always give ourselves a pass because we know each other so well and we know how we were raised and stuff like that. So, but overall, I'm feeling really good, very happy. And each day I check in with myself when I wake up and I see kind of on the 1 to 10 scale of, do I feel depressed? Do I feel happy? Where am I? And then I do things to kind of bring myself back into some joy, so it's good. And then I take off from there.
nice.
Yeah,
Get what you need.
exactly. That's really about it. I'm going to eat my little dinner. But thanks for repeating the 4 things, because I like those. And I especially like the comfortable one, because I think really life is about being content. Contentment is what this is all about, having what you need as opposed to wanting all the time. And I always say contentment is underrated.
I agree. I agree. I mean, ultimately, that is why I decided to take this place,
Yeah.
even though it wasn't everything that I was holding out for, because my alternatives just didn't feel comfortable. And at least in this space, it is pleasant and it is uplifting. So it's kind of like checking into an Airbnb, only I get to bring all my belongings to it. So
Right. That's good.
and
That's a good way to think of it, actually.
yeah. And I had to get out of that forever thinking, like, this is going to be my forever place,
Right.
and I'm just going to land here. And it's like, no, I'm not ready for that yet. And so it's good for me to just take that next step and declare that I am worthy of being in an environment that supports me and nurtures me, and yeah, to cultivate that happy, healthy,
Yeah.
comfortable, and passionately inspired vibe.
And also, as with Helene on the phone, of course, to bow beautifully out of this past space and thanking it for all it did to hold you, to nurture you, the beautiful friendship that was even, deepened by being there, all those good things, the good transition.
All right, sister.
All
Thanks for
right.
sharing that.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. But if you try sometime, you just might find you get what you need. You get what you need. We are always getting what we need. What is it like to take that on as a concept and be with it and find peace in that? If we can find peace in believing that we always get what we need, then what is there to worry about? We're always provided for. even when we have no visible means of support, and whatever experiences that we magnetize to ourselves are the next step in our evolution. So these are the ways, these are the thoughts that I practice to support myself in finding my peace and my faith. And I offer them to you because they have proven to be very helpful to me. So how about we all take a nice deep breath? And one more. See, right then, I needed those deep breaths, and that's what came up for me to have. So what else? What is alive? What is on your minds? What is on your hearts? What can we drop into together in the stillness and the presence? You're doing great. You're doing so much better than the monkey mind might have you believe. You're amazingly courageous to face each day. Take it as it comes, one foot in front of the other. Deal with whatever there is to deal with. You're on your path. You can't not be. And you always, always, always get what you need. So if you adopt this practice of grateful awareness, you can detach from the preferences that cause you pain, and you can just be grateful that you exist and that you get to be here and witness and experience all that you get to witness and experience. And how incredible is that? Happy, healthy, comfortable, and passionately inspired. You get to be those things just by choosing to trust that you are always getting what you need. Imagine what life would be like if we were all walking around choosing to be grateful for awareness. How would we feel? when we encounter one another. Sacredly blessed and amazed, I'd say. I am grateful for this. I am perfectly blessed to get to sit here being with you, holding space. I seem grateful. I feel grateful. I'm glad I seem how I feel. We all have the opportunity to examine our relationship with existence and notice whether it is antagonistic or harmonious, and ask ourselves the important questions like, if I notice that I am in an antagonistic or combative relationship with existence, how's that working for me? How's that serving me? I am the common denominator in all my experiences. So coming into harmony by choosing to trust that I always get what I need, and being grateful awareness puts me in a place of receiving simply by allowing. There is no effort there. There is only grace. And there is no suffering. And there is a trust that I always get what I need. There's no worry. There's no doubt. I always get what I need. I always have. Even if I didn't like it at the time. Even if I didn't understand, and so I would argue with it. So I invite you into peace. I invite you into trust. I invite you into surrendering your resistance to what is. Calm, confident, knowing. Thank you. For me, seeking and achieving this state has been a lifelong goal because it has always seemed to me that there is no quote unquote success without inner peace. It doesn't seem possible to build a sustainable empire on a foundation of angst. Seek ye first the kingdom within, and all this will be added unto you. The peace that surpasseth all understanding. Sharana's in the house. Welcome, sister. Nice to see you here. Would you like to come on camera and chat with me? All you have to do is type yes in the comments, and I will search you out in the menu of participants, and if you're there, I'll be able to bring you on. It'll be nice to chat with you. The topic today is getting what you want. No, it's not getting what you want, it's getting what you need, and making the distinction between wanting and needing and having. And if we trust, my contention is that if we trust that we always get what we need, then we can be at peace. We can be at peace with life. Hey, buddy, what are you building? A skyscraper. On a foundation of peace? I hope so. Let's see. I'm going to invite you on. You don't have to accept my invitation, and I'm going to invite you. Drum roll. Is Sasha Rana going to take the invitation and come on to the call and chat with me? Help me out here, because I'm hoarse today. I've been coughing for 2 days. Angst, a foundation of angst? Which skyscraper are you talking about? Newt tonight. All right. Not tonight. That's fine. Doesn't have to be. I'm perfectly happy to sit in the silence. I think it's a radical act of courage to hold space in silence in this fast-paced Instagram, TikTok reality. TikTok, not TikTok. Yeah, I mean, the method to my madness, doing these 2-hour live streams and functioning at this calm pace is to open up a portal into another dimension that is much more peaceful and much more grounded. And sane. It's like when we're in this like state of mania, how is it possible to feel and understand what's really going on with us and what needs adjustment? Finding our peace, finding our center, finding our inner core of calm is paramount to feeling empowered and functioning as a sovereign being who can't be pushed around or talked into things or forced to do things that one doesn't want. So slowing down and dropping in and sitting in silence. Raised in a society obsessed with notoriety, a picture of anxiety was me. So hypnotized to seize the prize, ambition blinding me, never free. Till one day I awoke to realize it was a joke played upon the folk who could not see the nature of the lie that would destroy one's sense of pride in the life that God hath gave to thee. I've already made it, I've already won. The moon and the stars and the earth and the sun. I've already made it, I've already won. The moon and the stars and the earth and the sun. There's no one to be but the me that I am. One face of creation, one grand grain of sand. We are all so precious. We are all so sacred. How could we doubt our provisions? Let's see. What does Rebecca? I really like what Leah shared. Encountering difficult or different views from, say, family members and being willing to see the conflict as contrast to recognize the perfection for oneself. Nice share and awareness. Powerful if we come to every encounter with that gift of awareness, then we're given what we need, not necessarily what we want. Absolutely, indeed. Yes, that's why I love to share, and I can't take credit for it. It was a catalyst in my evolution and Stu's evolution, named Matthew John, who taught us the concept of allies, being allies in one another's evolution, and it really helps to see that everyone that we encounter and that everyone that we engage with, everyone we have conflict with, is ultimately our evolutionary ally, and they are supporting us in getting more clear about who we are and what our truth is. We whether they agree or they vehemently disagree, we get to feel the truth of ourselves in the face of that reflection. So it all serves. So we always get what we need. We always, always, always get what we need. And how much more relaxed and laid back and peaceful can we be if we know that? If we know that we always get what we need, rather than being in resistance to some experience because we think it's not what we want. Surrendering to what is. Declaring perfect what is what alchemizes and transmutes the energy into something positive and productive for us. Welcome, Gio. So the way to get what you need is to know that you always get what you need. Nice to see you. And at first, there could be a lot of resistance to accepting that because we have a lot of ideas about what we should have and what our circumstances should be like and what our relationships should feel like. And we want to shout no at existence, and we want to make everything bad and wrong, not everything, but and push it away. And I'm suggesting that that choice is not serving us. It serves us better to be grateful awareness and to trust that whatever is coming before us is serving us and must be what we need. This must be what I need. Oh, this must be what I need. This must be what I need. How much empowerment is there in that? Rebecca, are we ready, do you think, as a society to accept all that we have received as what we needed for humanity's growth? Gratefulness is the key. Reading your question again and being with it. Well, it's kind of a 100th monkey thing. There are so many of us that are on this path of awakening. So what is critical mass? Like, what percentage of aware beings actually can tip the scale? I mean, I could say, yes, we are ready. I can declare that we are ready. And it might take some, linear time for us to actually see the results of that in the field. And the more of us that declare that we are ready, the more quickly it will come about. Yeah, gratefulness is the key insofar as, and I've said this before, it's like I have been close to a few people who have taken their lives. And the lesson, the reflection for me in that is that life is so precious that that will never be me. So no matter how challenging any of my personal circumstances have been, there is no part of me that wants to take my life. I am so grateful for the blessing and the privilege and the miracle of getting to exist, that that supersedes anything my character might need to go through in her heroine's journey. So I think that the more of us that are holding that perspective, that feel so aware, so connected to how fortunate we are, that we are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the voices of global awakening, because we are reminding, we are pointing to. It's like the elephant in the room. It's like the emperor has no clothes. It's like, hey, all this suffering, all this competing, all this combat, all this everything. It's like, you guys are not seeing how blessed we all are. You have eyes, but do not see. And that's the whole thing. I say it all the time. We are walking, talking, living, breathing miracles, each and every one of us. And I think that the more of us that know and embody this, the more we impact the field around us. Great fun for all I receive, yes, and yet also the tension required to create the new is a part of the creative process. It is actually the ignition for flow to occur. Oh, not great fun, grateful for all I receive, yes, and yet also the tension required to create the new is a part of the creative process. It is actually the ignition for flow to occur. Well, Abraham Hicks would say contrast gives birth to desire, that which is unwanted sparks the passion for what is desired. And certainly I agree with that. And when that energy is passionate inspiration, then that is beautiful. When it is coming from suffering, when it is coming from longing, it feels like there's a greater chasm to cross in order to get to that place of fulfillment, of actually receiving and experiencing that which is desired. And so we could say, based on what you wrote here, that the contrast is what is needed. And so once again, I will go back to the beginning point, which is that we always get what we need. And in this case, it could be the contrast that ignites us to create something new or experience something new. So yeah, thank you for that. So, I'm going to stretch and invite you to as well if you feel it. Oh, permission to be who you are, permission to be true to yourself, permission to be how you are more and more fully all the time. So what's alive? So I might want to have more participation. And I might ask for it, as I do, and I might get it, and I might not get it. And my assertion here is that if I'm not getting it, then more participation is not necessarily what I need. Perhaps what I need is more airtime of just me holding space, having the courage to breathe and be and deal with whatever discomfort that may arise as it relates to worrying about not being interesting enough or not filling the time enough or whatever the story might be, and ultimately being willing to trust that I'm always getting what I need is incredibly valuable. What do you see is our purpose here on planet Earth? Well, ultimately, what I see our purpose is to wake up and just be ecstatically thrilled that we are these walking, talking, living, breathing miracles within this miraculous dimension. I think that our programming that causes us to feel like we have to slave and struggle and effort and worry is undermining the pleasure that we would be experiencing if we just were in the wow of being alive. It is a blessing and it is a privilege to get to be embodied. And so I think that our purpose is to wake up. I think our purpose is to wake up and to celebrate and to celebrate the miracle of being in a body and celebrate all the miracles of all we get to do here in these bodies, whether it is the gifts, the talents that we get to share, whether it is the passions, the things that we're interested in, whether it is the innovations that come through us based on our uniqueness. It's like we are embodied creators, each and every one of us, and so we come here to create and co-create and celebrate. That is, I believe, that the higher purpose of incarnation. Certainly not to suffer. Comedy is our purpose here on this planet. You have to have a sense of humor. If you don't have a sense of humor, you are fucking screwed. I shouldn't have said that because that messes me up for YouTube. Yeah, totally. See the illusion, laugh at the joke, clear the confusion. Time you awoke. I'm gonna say some radical things to you, dears. Things I think it's time that you hear. Powers that be may object in the guise of serve and protect. They may see me as some kind of threat to their reign of control. Maybe I won't last too long, but at least I'll have left you this song. And the message contained in these words will awaken your soul, make you whole. Out of the matrix, into the mind, counter the clockwork, seek to unwind, find your true meaning, know your true name, drop into human, master the game. Shape your own reality by choosing what you think. Deliberate, methodical, accept your cosmic link. Slip into the center of the core. Feel your own connection, claim your power, start to soar. You are the one, the savior, the choice, creator, director, the viewer, the voice. Merge with the silence, conquer your fear, grasp what I'm saying. There's only one of us here. See the illusion, laugh at the joke, clear the confusion. Time you awoke. Shape your own reality by choosing what you think. Deliberate, methodical, accept your cosmic link. Slip into the center of the core. Feel your own connection, claim your power, start to soar. You are the one, the savior, the choice, creator, director, the viewer, the voice. So our purpose, I would say, is to realize what a miracle and blessing and privilege it is to get to be here as an embodied character in the divine play and to play our parts to the hilt, not half-assed, full out, because we get to be here fully expressed as the unique creations that we each are. How am I doing? What do you say about that? Sasha, do you agree? What does Stu say? I read on the front page of the LA Times today that they have found the first feces of newly born human babies to have microparticles of plastic in it. That's disturbing. There is so much about what takes place here in this dimension, in the divine play, that can be profoundly disturbing. And if we trust that it is a play, and we trust that there is an overarching intelligence that is animating all of us and has written the scripts that we are enacting all the scenes from, that we can choose to be grateful awareness even as we witness things that challenge and disturb us, trusting that in the ultimate finality, when the curtain comes up, that everything will be revealed, everything will make sense, everything will be redeemed, and we will all be celebrating. It's like the analogy you've heard me use many times about being in the green room. If you're not a theater or a show business person, the green room is the place where actors go when they're not on stage or when they're not filming. And it's a place where they may still be dressed as their characters, but they're no longer in character. So when I say that even our enemies, our so-called enemies, are our evolutionary allies, these are other divine souls who have agreed to play these nefarious characters in our life experience so that we may know ourselves as the light. And when the veil is lifted, we will get to see that we are all the light. These particles were also found in 3 major brands of bottled water. That's always gotten me through. Yeah. It's all perspective, and it's all what we choose to believe. And how does it serve us to believe that we are doomed? It doesn't. It doesn't serve us to believe that we have been abandoned here in these challenging circumstances, and that there is no light at the end of the tunnel. There is no redemption. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, you probably heard me say, it's like, for me personally, my character to come into this world as the daughter of people who experienced so much atrocity, and so that atrocity was in my cells and what I was nursed on and what I was exposed to from inception, and what I was birthed into. It doesn't make any sense to me that I was born to suffer and die. It doesn't make any sense. So because it doesn't make any sense, it has inspired me to find alternative ways to think, because everything is mindset. There is no ultimate truth. There is only what we choose to make up and believe, because we are creating our own reality. It is a self-fulfilling biofeedback loop, and whatever we believe becomes our experience. That is why it is so vitally important for us to protect our consciousness from infiltration of thought forms that undermine our sense of peace. Now, that doesn't seem wholly practical in a reality where we are engaging. I mean, we could completely disconnect ourselves from the internet, for example, and so not see anything scroll across our feed that may cause us to feel disturbed. But that is why, aloha, Samara, so nice to see you. That is why it is so important to find a place to stand. I mean, a metaphorical place to stand psycho-emotionally and spiritually that can be that we become our own port in any storm. So grateful awareness, I claim I am grateful awareness. I am grateful awareness under any and every circumstance. I am a divine witness. Thank you for the time check, Stu. I am a divine witness. I represent the one who sent me. It's like there's not a moment of my existence that I am not aware. At this point, I haven't always been this way, that getting to exist is a privilege and a miracle. I don't take that lightly. I don't take it for granted. And as long as I know that, I can be in any circumstance and still be in grateful awareness. I represent the one who sent me. I represent the one who breathed life into me. So while it seems as though so many of my brothers and sisters have lost connection to that and have lost sight of it, I stand here representing that, because that's what I want. I want to be surrounded by mirrors that are all in on the miracle with me. So no matter what explosions are going on anywhere, we see the illusion, laugh at the joke, no matter what. Because we walk through the valley of the shadow of death and we fear no evil, because we are so clearly convinced of the existence of an overarching benevolent intelligence that breathed life into us. And we're so grateful to that intelligence for the unfathomable blessing of getting to be here. I want that for everybody. And that's a want. And the wanting does create suffering. So the main thing is to trust the divine unfolding and that I am getting what I need. I mean, if you all already knew, then I wouldn't necessarily have a role to point to, hey, we're all part of a miracle. We all look for, I need a miracle, I need a miracle. We are miracles. This is a miracle. How much more evidence do we need in order to feel safe and trusting? I'd have a different role. I like this one so far. This is my favorite subject. I can be funny even in this subject. So we get what we need, and we're always going to get what we need until and including when we wake up. And we're going to see that every step of the way, we have been getting what we need, whether we liked it or not. So the point is to accept it and come into resonant harmony, like deep bow to the infinite wow, the infinite intelligence, the infinite source of everything that is manifest in this physical dimension. We don't need to be religious, but we could be a whole lot more devout in our reverence and our awe. I mean, we can be so cocky and so arrogant about our entitlements, so over-identified with our characters and who we think we are. But none of us are any more special than anyone else. We are all special. We are all worthy children of the divine. It's all about allowing ourselves to trust this benevolent intelligence. And give thanks for our lives every single moment of every single day, every single breath. And that is how we alchemize our experiences to become better so that they feel better to us. Because from our limited perspective, as we judge our personal experiences or the experiences we see in the world, and we shout no at them and we make them wrong, we suffer. And the way out of suffering is acceptance. And that is how we alchemize and transmute our experience into something that feels more sublime. Am I making sense? Are you resonating with this? Put some comments in the chat, please. Oh, look at my tongue from all the cough drops. I'm so happy I'm getting through this with a voice still. It is our resistance to what is that causes our pain. Yes. I attribute that quote to you, but you say, thank you, Samara. Yes, I attribute that quote to you, Stu, but you say it wasn't you, so I don't know where it came from, but I really resonate with it. Anybody else want to come on and chat? We got about 25 minutes or so left, 20 minutes left. Anybody want to come on? Spare my voice a little bit by having a dialogue instead of a monologue. I be sick, Gio. I've been coughing my brains out since Sunday, and I'm moving tomorrow. Yeah. So I'm purging. It's very interesting. Yeah. Yeah, just kind of knocked me on my ass. Yeah, from stress, I would say so. I fell into stress because I was agonizing. I acknowledge I was agonizing about my decision to take this place because it wasn't what I wanted, and I was having a hard time accepting that it was what I needed. So that is how I come upon these topics to discuss with you. I go through my own thing, and then I start evaluating it, and I have insights and realizations, and then that becomes the next thing there is to talk about. Getting what you need. So I have determined that this place is what I need for the next step in my evolution. It may not be what I have been holding out for, believing I've wanted. Okay, come on. Here we go. Come on down. Geo Pensino, this is your life.
Okay. Hey, Tess.
Hey, Geo, nice to see you.
Let me know if my internet connection doesn't work good, because or other people can put it in the chat as well, because I was getting things kind of breaking up a little bit, and I'm in a new location right now. So just let me know if it doesn't work. Okay.
Okay, where are you?
I'm still in Scottsdale, and I'm on the golf course now, though.
Is there
Yeah.
a story?
I don't know if you've seen. I was posting somewhere like where like, oh man, I've become an old man living on the golf course.
No, that's so funny. Why did you move?
It's a super, like the most desirable time in Scottsdale right now. So people come here from all over the country because the winter is so nice here and everything. And there's just so many good things that go on here in the wintertime. So many art events and community events. This Saturday, we have the launch of the Scottsdale Blue Zone Wellness Initiative, which is pretty darn exciting. I imagine a lot of the audience is probably pretty familiar with the concept of blue zones being like health and wellness zones where people live longer, are happier, and that their wellness levels are higher. And it's been kind of studied and everything now, and so now there are these kind of blue zone initiatives, and so the city of Scottsdale, along with our wellness community here, is kicking off the initiative on Saturday, and so that's pretty exciting.
That's something based on climate, the blue zone?
It has a certain number of factors to it that are probably pretty close to the lifestyle wellness, factors. But, it's been studied now, these places, certain places in the world, like I said, where people, they live longer, they're happier, they have a higher quality of life. And so it's been studied now and kind of identified. So what are these factors? And like I said, it's pretty close to some of the wellness professionals that I work with in terms of the 6 pillars of lifestyle medicine or lifestyle wellness. And one of those factors, which I'd been kind of talking about a little bit, I think on your podcast before, being connection, social connection and connection to others. And so this is probably my biggest aha. You heard me one time talking about, like, I was kind of on a rant a little bit about, like, where's all the free events? And right. And you were like, well, you're the money guy. but free. But what I really meant was, connection, right? So connection happens, right? Social connection. And it's become kind of a big aha to me, like, how does that happen? And I think some people, maybe if they've lived in a place for a long time and they have, a strong community, going on, a strong social circle, it might not seem like much of a thing. But for so many people, myself included, who, are new to a community, or, us virtual workers working in different places, we don't have that. And so it's an enormous detriment to health and wellness. And so, man, I'm learning about it and I'm doing pretty good. I got to pat myself on the shoulder. Because, man, I've discovered some great things. And of course it takes it takes doing difficult things. It takes doing things sometimes, like if I'm feeling, disconnected, it might also, manifest itself, as kind of a light level of kind of depression. And once that gets, spiraled, then you don't feel like doing things. You don't feel like, taking the effort. And anyway, so I have taken the effort, and man, I've made some just beautiful, the solstice gathering that I had at my house, that kind of ignited a bunch of things. And I've connected with this burner group here that has, oh my gosh, they have so many enterprises going on.
Wow.
And one of those, yeah, it's called the well, the one that I'm connected to is called the Walter Hive. And so if there's other burners on the line right now, they might know, I don't know how, but the name Walter, they started off, with this kind of initiative, burner, adventure. And so they built some just incredible display vehicles that are also traveling sound and light shows. Mm-hmm. And so I connected. They have a nonprofit as one of their enterprises. They have a number of enterprises that are for profit, but they have one called the Walter Hive, and it uses creative tools to mostly help underserved and at-risk youth, and also young people that are in physically challenged. Like they work with burn units and other kinds of environments where young people are going through really difficult things. And they've got this incredible maker space and artistic space with all kinds of fun tools to do just amazing things. So yeah.
Have you been to Burning Man?
I have not been to Burning Man, no.
Are you inspired now?
Yes and yes. Yes and yes. I've always had a back to the thing about the money. I had a little bit of resistance to it, but that's not my only thing. Why do they charge so much to go to friggin' Burning Man? But that's just a little small part of it. But now I got connected to this community, and they're doing, like I said, these super creative things. So probably next year I'll go.
That sounds great. That sounds great. Yeah.
What about you? Have you been? Are the people on the call here been?
I have been once, and and it was profound because it went from being desolate and creepy and uncomfortable to the most sacred and the most profane coexisting in harmony side by side, to where ultimately I realized that it was all sacred. It was all the divine acting out like this and acting out like that, and it's a microcosm, so you really get to see it and be with it, and everybody's uniqueness is so celebrated that it really, even though it's desolate in the desert, it was paradise. It was more paradise than palm trees. Now, if they would do Burning Man in palm trees and the beach, that would be the thing. But at the time, I had my temple, the Universal Temple of Higher Consciousness, and before I even went, people would come to events at our place, and they would be like, well, this is like Burning Man without the dust. And I was like, well, then what the hell do I need to go and be there for? So once I went, I felt like I was an ambassador for it, and that I even wanted to, I was even not serious, but kidding around, I wanted to create a Burning Man ticket to run for president on the Burning Man on the Burning Man ticket. But it's what's so cool about it is that all the people that go there then come out and bring that consciousness out into the world, so
yes.
70 or 80,000 people, whatever it's up to at this point, go and have these these transformational experiences, and then it shifts how they are and what they create out in the world.
Yes.
So it's definitely had a huge impact on the culture. I thought I was going to be a regular and go every year, but the further I got away from it, the more my creature comforts were. Nah, I don't want to go.
Yeah, you need
But I loved it.
you need a travel van. You need a travel van,
Yeah.
because I imagine if you roll up with a travel van or something like that, you could be reasonably comfortable.
It's better. Like I stayed in a tent, and it was so hot during the day that I'm like mostly in the tent, and then come nighttime when it's really when you want to be out, I was way too tired to do anything. I was wiped out from the heat.
Yeah.
So I missed a lot of it, but it was a powerful, I mean, at least a once in a lifetime first bucket list kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think it's a good kind of, let's just say, what metaphor, or just, to your point of what you were talking about earlier, and the comment that I made. And sometimes it's hard, like in a little short comment, like, what is he talking about? And what I was saying was that, to me, in my experience in life, the things that have been the greatest challenges, and even like the things that have, caused distress, they're challenging to do, like what you're describing, getting there and being in an environment like that. But, if it's in alignment, right, with what we desire to create in the world, then on the other side of that, incredible stress and challenge and everything is the flow. And that's where, to me, where new things come into existence. And so if it were asked of me, what's our purpose? I would say it's to create. And I would further say, or just reiterate what I just said, was that to create is a very difficult fucking thing. It's fucking difficult. I mean, I've been a creative my entire life, and, I was a landscape architect for 20 years. And, every time, I would start a new major project, there's this tension where you don't really know what you're doing. It's kind of a blank slate.
Imposter syndrome. Right.
Yeah, or just like, it's like, yeah, you don't know what you're doing. Your mind doesn't, when you're creating something new, you don't know what it is at first. And so I believe there's a natural tension, and I really embrace that. Yeah, birth. I see Stu say that, birth, the actual birth of a human being, but yeah, the birth of new ideas, doing anything worthwhile, to me, it doesn't have to be difficult. And I think that's the mindset piece that you're talking about, which it is going to challenge, and it's going to not feel good. And I think that's one of the big mistakes, that people think that it's just going to all flow and just come and be easy. I think there's quite the opposite of that, actually. I think things that are worthwhile doing are they're challenging.
Yeah. And if it's an alignment, it's like, I mean, Deepak Chopra said that when a person is in their dharma, you can't tell whether they're working or playing, and they could still be playing rough. It could still be rough.
Yes.
But there's still that, like, even in the angst, there's some pleasure. There's some, like, I got to figure this out. I got to make this happen. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So, yeah, because I posted today in my personal Facebook feed my intentions, for the new year. And I broke it down to 3 very simple things, which, it means a lot more. But I said more fun, more friends, and more money.
Yay! More. I like
More,
it.
yeah, more friends, more fun, more money. And one of my peers, I would say, like, in the conscious community, like I said, Chad doesn't tell the whole story, but he was kind of sharing something along the lines of, this is how I read it anyways. It was like, be happy with what you have.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, you know. I mean, I have a big part of myself that, you know, not, it's more than admire, but I adhere to simple living. Like I do live pretty simply, even though, you know, to some people, you know, I live pretty luxuriously, but it's to me simple. And I certainly have, you know, no desire for, you know, billions. I think that's a ridiculous thing. That's actually a problem. But, you know, I think that there is obviously unlimited, there's unlimited abundance. And so I want that. I want that and more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's this and allowing. It's appreciating what is and opening to receive more, for sure.
Yeah. I certainly have experienced that, the magic of how things often do happen, because even though, you know, I work in, you know, marketing and messaging, and it's like we work so hard to get the message right and all this kind of thing, you know, get it in the right place and, you know, all this kind of stuff, you know about this. And, you know, man, some of the best projects, the best clients to me, they seem like they just kind of come magically.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in some oftentimes in unpredictable ways, but I look for that. You know, what can be done to trigger the unpredictable? You know.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like we work over here and we manifest over there.
Something like that.
Like,
something like that.
out of left field.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, life is good, and yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. I appreciate you coming on. It's good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
Thank you. I'm going to move tomorrow. I'm going to get resettled, and when the dust settles, I will reach out to you.
Yes, I didn't get to ask you that question of where you're moving to. Is in the same town or a different town?
Actually, is in the same town as where I am. It's just only like 10 minutes from here, but
Okay.
it's way closer to the freeway. It overlooks a canyon, and it's a easy cross through a beautiful area to get to the coast, and it's a good location. It's a really, really good location. It's a good location, and it's a very pretty place. So, you know, as a staging area for me to kind of reclaim all my possessions and start to ground and sort and release, it's a good next step.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Well, I will look forward to seeing the pictures and seeing when the first event happens there. So
Yeah.
keep me posted.
I'm going to have to rethink what I'm going to do in terms of events, because I can't, the footprint is not so big that I can have the size events that I was envisioning. But I'll figure it out. It's got charm. So.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll jump off and let you finish up here.
Okay. Good to see you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Well, here we go. We have made it through another 2 hours, episode number 24 of Voices of the Global Awakening, Tuesdays with Tess, and Carol Burnett is popping into my head. So I'm so glad we had this time together just to have a laugh or sing a song. Seems we just get started, and before you know it, comes the time we have to say so long. Thank you so much for being here with me. I love you all very, very much. And I will see you next Tuesday from 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific time for episode number 25. Mwah. Much love. Oh, thank you so much, Rebecca. I love you too. Okay, blessings, everybody. Bye-bye.